smoking, vaping, two words that have permeated our conversations, our public spaces, and sadly, even our lungs. For generations, the image of a lit cigarette, smoke curling upwards, was synonymous with sophistication, rebellion, or simply a habit. Today, that image is often replaced by sleek devices emitting vapor clouds, sometimes fruity, sometimes nondescript. Both promise a certain allure, a quick fix, a moment of escape. But behind the smoke and mirrors, what are we really inhaling? The truth, as always, lies beneath the surface, often hidden in a haze of chemicals and conflicting opinions. This is not just a debate about personal choice, it's about public health, about the air we breathe, about the future of our lungs and our children's lungs. It's time to clear the air, to separate fact from fiction, and to understand the real differences between smoking and vaping. At their core, both cigarettes and e-cigarettes deliver nicotine, a highly addictive substance. But the delivery method and the cocktail of additional chemicals are where the stark differences begin. Cigarettes, those tightly packed cylinders of tobacco, rely on combustion. Light one up, and you're essentially setting fire to dried leaves, releasing a complex mixture of over 7,000 chemicals. Vaping, on the other hand, involves heating a liquid solution, usually containing nicotine, flavorings, and other additives, to create an aerosol that is then inhaled. This process, while seemingly less harmful than combustion, is not without its own set of risks. While vaping might appear cleaner at first glance, the long-term health effects of inhaling heated chemicals and metals are still being investigated. Both methods deliver nicotine, the addictive culprit, but the journey it takes to reach your lungs and the companions it brings along differ significantly. Let's talk toxins. Cigarette smoke is a veritable witch's brew of harmful substances. We're talking arsenic, the poison of choice in many a detective novel. We're talking benzene, a known carcinogen found in gasoline. And of course, let's not forget formaldehyde, used to preserve biological specimens. These are not ingredients for a healthy life. They are the hallmarks of a product designed to addict and ultimately, to harm. Vaping, while often touted as a safer alternative, is not without its own chemical baggage. While e-liquids generally contain fewer toxins than cigarettes, they still deliver a potent mix of chemicals, including volatile organic compounds, heavy metals, and ultrafine particles that can lodge deep within the lungs. The long-term consequences of inhaling these substances are still being uncovered. One of the most damaging effects of smoking is the buildup of tar in the lungs. Imagine coating your delicate lung tissue with a sticky brown residue day after day, year after year. That's what smoking does. Tar paralyzes the cilia, the tiny hair-like structures that help clean our lungs, making smokers more susceptible to infections and chronic bronchitis. Vaping, while not producing tar in the same way, still exposes users to a cocktail of potentially harmful chemicals. The heated liquids in e-cigarettes can decompose into various compounds, some of which are known irritants and carcinogens. Formaldehyde and acetaldehyde, both found in e-cigarette vapor, are classified as carcinogens, meaning they have the potential to cause cancer. While more research is needed to fully understand the long-term effects of vaping, the presence of these harmful substances raises serious concerns. Section 5. Vaping, a foggy landscape of uncertainty. The relative novelty of vaping poses a significant challenge for researchers. Long-term studies on the health effects of e-cigarettes are still underway, making it difficult to definitively assess the full extent of their risks and benefits. Early studies suggest that vaping is likely less harmful than smoking cigarettes, but that doesn't make it safe. We're still uncovering the potential long-term consequences of inhaling heated chemicals and metals. Moreover, the rapid evolution of vaping devices and e-liquids makes it challenging to keep up with the latest research. What we know about one generation of e-cigarettes might not necessarily apply to the next. The jury is still out, and it's crucial to remain cautious and informed. Section 6. The young and the restless lungs. Perhaps the most alarming trend is the rise of vaping among young people. E-cigarettes, with their sleek designs and enticing flavors like mango and cotton candy, have become increasingly popular among teenagers and young adults. Many young people perceive vaping as harmless, unaware of the potential risks associated with nicotine addiction and exposure to harmful chemicals. The developing brains of adolescents are particularly vulnerable to the addictive effects of nicotine. Early exposure to nicotine can have long-lasting consequences, increasing the risk of addiction to other substances later in life. Furthermore, the use of e-cigarettes during adolescence can interfere with brain development, potentially impacting cognitive function and impulse control. Protecting young people from the allure of vaping and educating them about its potential risks is paramount. Section 7. Secondhand smoke signals. While the debate between smoking and vaping often centers around individual choice, we cannot ignore the impact of secondhand exposure. Secondhand smoke from cigarettes is a known health hazard, responsible for numerous cases of lung cancer, heart disease, and respiratory illnesses in non-smokers. The evidence on secondhand vapor is still emerging, but early studies suggest that it contains harmful substances, albeit in lower concentrations than cigarette smoke. While secondhand vapor might be less harmful than secondhand smoke, it's not harmless. More research is needed to determine the long-term health effects of secondhand vapor exposure, particularly on vulnerable populations like children, pregnant women, and individuals with respiratory conditions. Creating smoke-free and vapor-free environments is crucial to protecting public health. Section 8. A regulatory maze. Navigating the world of smoking and vaping regulations can feel like traversing a labyrinth. Cigarettes, once ubiquitous, have faced increasing restrictions, including bans on smoking in public places, graphic warning labels, and high taxes. Vaping, on the other hand, has existed in a regulatory gray area, with rules and restrictions varying widely across countries and even within individual states. This lack of consistent regulation has led to confusion among consumers and concerns about product safety and marketing practices. Governments and health organizations worldwide are grappling with how to regulate e-cigarettes effectively. Striking a balance between curbing youth vaping, ensuring product safety, and potentially supporting smokers who are trying to quit is a complex challenge. Section 9. Shifting sands of social acceptance. The social perception of smoking has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent decades. Once considered glamorous and sophisticated, smoking is now widely recognized as a health hazard and a social taboo. Public awareness campaigns, smoking bans, and graphic warning labels have all contributed to this shift in public opinion. Vaping, however, occupies a more ambiguous space in the court of public opinion. Some view it as a less harmful alternative to smoking, while others perceive it as a gateway to nicotine addiction, particularly among young people. The normalization of vaping, particularly among youth, is a growing concern. As vaping becomes more prevalent, it's crucial to promote accurate information about its potential risks and to prevent its adoption as a harmless pastime. Section 10. Quitting the smoke and mirrors. Ultimately, the decision of whether to smoke, vape, or abstain from both is a personal one. However, it's a decision that should be made with full awareness of the risks and benefits involved. Both smoking and vaping come with significant health risks, albeit to varying degrees. Quitting smoking is arguably the single most important step you can take to improve your health. While vaping is often promoted as a cessation aid, its effectiveness in helping smokers quit long-term is still debated. If you're considering using vaping as a tool to quit smoking, it's essential to consult with your healthcare provider to discuss the potential risks and benefits and to develop a personalized cessation plan. There are numerous evidence-based resources available to support smokers in their journey to quit. Section 11. A breath of fresh perspective. The debate between smoking and vaping is complex and multifaceted. There are no easy answers, and the science is still evolving. What is clear is that both activities carry inherent risks, and neither is without its drawbacks. As we navigate this evolving landscape, it's crucial to prioritize public health, to promote accurate information, and to encourage informed decision-making. Ultimately, the goal should be to create a world where everyone can breathe a little easier. Let's clear the air, both literally and figuratively, and work towards a future where our lungs are no longer held hostage to smoke and mirrors.